AV. You know the job. I.S.U.P.K. Badness, no sir. Let me tell you how the badness steer. Don't be bad fly when the Glock is clear. Tell a boy say no try box this face. Box which face. They know how your blood black just next to your boy. They must see one back this prayer. When the map stick praise, not a one straight. Shot this place. The key never lie, you never shot this here. To crack his face. The key never tell us we lock this place. Which locks it anyway, watch this place. War with them, funny like plastic teeth, hey. We don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't take care up. We don't take care up. We don't stay up. And when the next day come, we don't change up. And I have them, but as them wake up. Here, bus boy, head top shake up. So tell a pussy well don't violate us. No care where you stay, just where you take up. Every man a killer till this I let face you straight up. Straight up. One way slim bigger than NATO. Man who bustle to NATO. Only man we afraid of. That are the creator, the maker. Hey, we don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15 and AR rounds. AR-15s and AR rounds. AR-15s and let me tell you how the badness steer. Don't be bad fly when the Glock is clear. Tell a boy say no try box this face. Box which face. You know how your blood clot just get to your boy. You must see one map this prayer. When the map stick praise that lick straight. Shot this place. The key them in your head top this beer. Catch his face. The key never tell us so we lock this place. Which locks it anyway. Watch this place. War with them funny like plastic teeth. We don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. You gotta see that 60 frames per second. Come on,
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move it coach. If they think they're wrong, move it cash. See me, they like, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. I'm on my way. Coming up on my door. They see me, they like, keep on stopping. I'm on my body. Real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I broke my army. Going up like a rocket. Can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage. So watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, Slytherin house. Call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Only like that, man. You cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 with them. Boy, Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. So I made a corner like a plum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Keep on stopping, got this bitch on the hand, got this bitch, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the soap. It ain't rap, this is soap. Can't take some bitch, unless you with the coat. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it coach. If they make the wrong move it cash.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's one west. You can check the residency. I reside God was focused down on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before dishonor, ain't no power to me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder, you ain't calling no weak. And they're cooking on his beat, hope you like it well done. Got the killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fucking scared some, get the banging on his beat till my fucking head numb. Black block, red drum, black and yellow air one. Homie, you ain't got a mess up, so just you wear one.
Told you niggas going up. Doing a lot of talking, now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, little nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, little nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break the nigga ribs up like his white blood. We all stepping, kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, what you doing light. These hands are root GPS, so mean right. That's mean right, we feel different, you know the vibes. And we say it's authentic, we know the rise. I keep a 144 because I know a God. Know it's hard, you know I'm with animals when we flow and ride. We back again, no camp, when I'm with camp again. Yeah, they said they must focus, so we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move it coach. If they make the wrong move it pass. See me, they like, keep on shouting. I'm on my way up.
Third annual I.S.U.P.K 53rd annual Lord Passover.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K down in Florida. I'm Captain of 10,000 YAHANNA. We here to let you know. 53rd annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida. It's going down in South Florida, Cocoa Beach.
Friday, April 15th, 2022.
The lamb, the wine, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you understand? Good music, good weather, palm trees, the whole nine.
This is going to be glorious. Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
April 15th and the 16th. Don't just book for the 15th. Book for the 15th and the 16th.
It's going down Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
Moses told Pharaoh we need 3 days to be able to go out into the wilderness and serve our power the way he commands. You're going to have to get that off with your boss, with your slave master. So make sure you in the building. Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th to 16th, 2022 is going down. We'll see y'all there. Shalom.
144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000.
All right, let's clap it up. All right, let's get started. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shabbat to all the brothers. That means may Yahweh watch over you, brothers, in the name of who the world calls Christ. And Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Thon Bashim Yahushai. Means may the Most High watch over you, sisters, in the name of who the world calls Christ. All right. I'm Priest and Officer Shar Yawan under Commanding General Yahanna. And we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right, today is Friday night's La Shawan Kodash class. La Shawan Kodash meaning the holy tongue, the ancient tongue, the original language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, every Friday night we're teaching Hebrew to our people, giving our language and our culture back. All right, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have a very rich culture, a rich identity. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. We are the nation that is above all nations on the face of the earth. All right. So every Friday night we're teaching Hebrew to our people. All right, and we're gonna get started off with where we always do. All right. At the beginning of each class is tradition, just to go over the alphabet. All right. This is especially good if this is the first time you're tuning in. All right. It's important to learn the alphabet. All right. In the Hebrew, we have characters. We don't have letters like the English language. All right. Each of these characters represents something. All right. A character is an image of something. All right. So, for example, the first character, it's called an I.S.U.P.K. When we're reading it, we would say ah. All right. We'll give the first couple letters. We have a ah, ba, ga, and a da. All right. This is how we pronounce these characters. All right. And it goes like this throughout the whole alphabet, except for one character. All right. Which is a character or the image of an eye. Right. You put a little dot here. You're drawing. Right. It's just the image of an eye. Right. Each of these characters represents something. All right. Like the Gamal, that is how we would say camel in English. All right. It's the neck of a camel. So, going over our alphabet, we have a A, Ba, Ga, Da. Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. All right. Just give me one moment. All right. So we got A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I. This is the one character I was speaking about that we pronounce a little different. Excuse me. I. And then we have Pa. So I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and a Tha. All right. So these are all the 22 characters of the Hebrew language, the Hebrew alphabet. All right. We got A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right. And that is how we pronounce or we sound out each character in the Hebrew language. All right. So again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, it would be good to start taking notes. All right. You're just a beginner. Take some notes down. And what you want to do is begin learning the alphabet. All right. Begin learning the alphabet of the Hebrew. And then once you got that down, you can begin to get into reading and speaking the Hebrew. Okay. So what we also teach is the Assyrian. All right. Some people call it modern Hebrew. And each of these characters come from our language, right? All right, so we have a A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, right? This is the modern Hebrew that we have beneath it. All right, at the top, we got the ancient Hebrew as we started out with. And then beneath it, all right, and then beneath it here, we have the modern, also known as the Assyrian. So we have an A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa. All right. So now again, we have the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashuan Kodash, the ancient Hebrew. We have a Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. And beneath it, we'll put the Assyrian. We have Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, and Allah. So now, one thing we'll notice in the Assyrian, this is the first letter in the Assyrian that actually has two symbols. Both of these represent Ka. The only thing is when you're spelling a word, right? A knock, no. What's the word with a Ka in it? Oh, well, you could say Abaka, right? So a word would be Abaka, and now because the Ka is at the end of a word, Salakia. Salakia means excuse me or forgive me. All right. So we have Abaka. All right. When you see Ka at the end of a word, all right, it means it's a possessive word. That character means your or you. And Abba means father. All right, so this is a word you might read as you're reading Hebrew. You'll see Abaka. All right. Above it, I'll put the Lashuan Kodash. It would look like this. All right, Abaka. So now this right here is the Assyrian. And you see the Ka is at the end of a word. So because it's at the end of the word, we use this second character here. All right. If it was anywhere else in the word, we would use this first symbol. All right. Just give you a second to take a look at that. All right. So again, you see that character Ka at the end of a word. We use the second character, the second symbol. If it's anywhere else in the word, you would use the first character. All right. All right. So we keep going, getting through our alphabet. All right. On the top, we have the Lashuan Kodash. The top, the Lashuan Kodash. And beneath it, we have the Assyrian. All right. Also, again, known as the modern Hebrew. So we got Zakata, Yakala, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa. I'm not going to fit it up. No sweat. Tazah. And then beneath it, we got the Assyrian. All right. Again, we got the Lashwan Kodash on the top, Assyrian on the bottom. And in the Assyrian, we have 5 characters in total that have the 2 symbols, right? So we have the Ka, the Ma, Na, Pa, Tazah, all right? Every other character or every other letter in the modern Hebrew just has 1 symbol, all right? 1 character. There's 5 characters in total that have 2 symbols, all right? And then, of course, in the Lashwan Kodash, all right, the Lashwan Kodash, there's only 1 character for each letter, all right? So what we got up here one more time, Abba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Tazah, all right? And we got 4 more characters to go over. Just give you a second to copy that down if you're taking notes. And then we'll get the last 4 characters up. All right. And those are the last 4 characters that we got. All right. We got the Lashwan Kodash at the top. Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right. In the Assyrian, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right. And that's it for the alphabet. Yeah, shalom, Barak, y'all. Y'all Bashim Shabbat.
Shalom, Shabbat.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Everything cool. I about one twin in for class.
Don't sound cursed. All right, so for today, where we're gonna start off, we're doing just a small part 2 to last class. We were in Psalms 121. We had 2 verses that we didn't finish. I think it was verse 7 and 8.
Karawakan.
So we're gonna go through those. Hopefully, we don't spend too much time on it, and then we're gonna go over some past and present tense. All right, just to get some more practice with that. So, if you're tuning in, you can go to www.blueletter.com. I'll pull it up on my screen really quick. Just as a way of following along, you'll be able to see the Hebrew. See what it is we're doing. Just share my screen really quick so you can see what it is I'm speaking about. So this is a website called Blue Letter Bible. You can go to blueletterbible.com. It's a good tool to use. Where you see it say verse or words, just type in Psalms 121, and that will pull it up. Let me show you. We go to Psalms 121. Right, we go Psalms 121, and you see Blue Letter Bible will take you right to the chapter, and then they have a tools button. Right, we're gonna start at. Let me double check my notes. I think it's verse 7. Yeah, we're gonna do verse 7 and verse 8. So you can go down to verse 7. They have a button called Tools. You click Tools, and as you can see, it pulls up the Hebrew. All right. So this is Psalms 121, verse 7. It says, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Ath, Napashka. All right. That's verse 7. That's how it reads in the Hebrew. And you can pull that up again to follow along, see what it is we're breaking down. All right. So, okay. So starting in verse 7. All right. So starting in verse 7, we got Yahweh. All right. I'll write it down how it reads on the blue letter. All right. That would be the modern Hebrew or the Assyrian Hebrew. We have Yahweh. And then beneath it, I'll put the Lashon Kodash. We have Yahweh, Yashamarka, Yashamarka. All right, Yashamarka. Now again in the Hebrew, Hebrew is always written right to left. We write and read right to left. That's how the Hebrew is. It's opposite from the English. All right. The English is backwards. This is a normal way of reading, right to left. We have Yahweh, Yashamarka. We have Makal Rai. What we got there? Salakia, Barakiala, do you have the Blue Letter Bible in front of you?
Wakan.
Does that third word say McCall?
Wakan is McCall.
McCall, okay. You say Nucall or McCall?
McCall.
McCall, Khan. That's what I thought. McCall, right? McCall. McCall, right? McCall, right? Then we have Yashamar. 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 Oth Napashka. Oth Napashka. Napashka. All right. Napashka. All right. All right. So again, this is the Hebrew. We got both the Lashwan Kodash and the ancient, or Salaki, the Lashwan Kodash and the modern Hebrew. So on the top, we got the modern Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Oth, Napashka. All right. And we're going to break this down in the English. All right. For brothers and sisters in the school, tomorrow we got the Sabbath service. You can tune in. All right. Tune in. We'll be reading the Hebrew every Saturday. In the I.S.U.P.K, we have Sabbath service. All right. That is a day of rest, a commandment for Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans to keep. And Yahawashi, our King, who's known as Christ, to the world, right? He told us, isn't it good that we do good on the Sabbath, right? That's important for us to do. All right. So tomorrow is a Sabbath. We got Sabbath service. You can come in and read. You'll learn to read the Hebrew. We'll be breaking down scriptures in the Hebrew. All right. We'll be doing prayers in the Hebrew. Psalms 121 is one of the prayers that we do. All right. So just doing this quick little breakdown, it'll just better help us understand what it is we're saying when we're reading and speaking in Hebrew. Okay. So we got Yahweh. All right. Barak Ya Allah, if you could, all the words that you see that are familiar, any words in the Hebrew here that you know in English, let me know. Let me know what that is. Salakia?
Yahweh.
Khan? What's Yahweh in English?
Is the Lord.
The Lord? Yep. What else do we got here?
Yashamar.
Most High in Christ. What is Shamar?
It's to watch, to keep, or to preserve.
Most High in Christ. We're getting this down. We got watch. We have a preposition here, right? If you take a look at what I have up here, we got prepositions and possessives. These are words that we fill in between root words in the Hebrew. These help us form sentences. So we have a yah, right? This is a preposition. And we have a root word, which is shamar. Like Barak Yahweh said, is to watch. We see up here, we got yah. Anytime you see these characters, I'm at the beginning of a word, right? It lets you know which preposition it means. So yah means he. It can be it or he, right? Depending on the context. Any other words you see?
Napash.
Most High in Christ. Napash, right? We have a Napash as one of the characters in our alphabet. When you see this na, it's a Napash. And what does that mean in the English?
Soul.
Soul, Most High in Christ. All right? Most High in Christ. We got soul. Then we have a possessive word, which is ka, right? Which is your or you. All right? Anything else we got?
Rai.
Right, Khan. What does Rai mean?
Evil.
Evil, Most High in Christ. That word means evil. Sometimes you might see bad. Right? We'll just leave evil. Anything else?
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka. So we got, again, if you pay attention, right, you see shamar, right? The same word is right here, shamar. It's the same root word, which is to watch. And we have prepositions and possessive words again, right? So ka at the end of a word is your or you. We have yah at the beginning, which is he, it or he. And we're just missing, it looks like 2 words. Yeah, I think we got 2 more words to fill out here. We have makal and oth. You know what either of those are in the English?
McCall is from all.
Most High in Christ. All right. So makal, we got from, right? They fully translated that as from all when we read it in the English. And then the last word is oth. All right. Oth. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let me double check. No, this is a different word. So this word oth, do you know what oth is in the Hebrew?
La one.
No sweat. So we got this word that is self. All right. Do I have the blue? Let me see if I have the Strong's. I didn't write down the Strong's definition for this one. Double check. No, I don't have that. So what you can do if you have the Blue Letter Bible, you can pull that word up, right? You can hit the tools button on verse 7. Take a look at that word. It's the last word, oth napashka. Just look up oth. I think in the modern Hebrew, they might pronounce it as et. Et or et. I think it's just et. I think that's how they pronounce it in modern Hebrew. But in this class, we're not teaching how to speak modern Hebrew. All right. They have different, they have vowel sounds in their language, in their alphabet. So some of their words are pronounced differently. All right. But we're focused on the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. So we got Ath, Napashka. All right. And this is all of Psalms 121 and verse 7. All right. You can take a look at our last week's class. Again, we did the beginning of Psalms 121. All right, we're just finishing off the last two verses. We were just running out of time. All right. This is a good prayer. This is a prayer that we read, prayer that we say in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Prayer you can teach your kids, teach your family. Make sure you face the east, face the Most High, and go ahead and say your prayers. All right. So we got one more verse we'll break down. Which is verse 8. All right, then we get to verse 8. Salakia Baraka Allah.
Come.
How long have you been practicing Hebrew now?
I couldn't tell that one. Been a while.
Couldn't tell no sweat. So I know Salakia. I've been practicing maybe around 2 years. All right. I could definitely be doing better. I could definitely be studying more. But what I will say is the first time I looked at it, first time I saw Hebrew, I didn't know what I was looking at. Right? Growing up speaking English, learning English, to read and write English. When I saw this just looked like a total foreign language. Which it was. Right? But when I had to sit down and learn the alphabet, for the first time I had to really sit down and get the alphabet down. It only took me maybe 3-4 days of practicing the alphabet, writing it down, to actually learn it and get it down. Right? It didn't take that long. Maybe if you have a little less time in your day, might take you a week, maybe 2 weeks. But once you practice that alphabet, you get it down, and you can pronounce it, right? That opens up a whole new world, right? It opens up a whole new world into reading the Hebrew. And then it's just practice, repetition, practice, repetition. Learning new words here and there, adding it to your vocabulary, right? We just went through verse 7, right? In a whole verse, a whole sentence. Brock, your Allah broke down 80% of that in the English, right? Without needing to go to a concordance, opening up that blue letter. Just words that we see that are familiar to us, right? And that's how we'll learn this language. Okay, so we're on verse 8. We'll probably get through this just as quick as the last one. It's a little longer, so let me, I'll split it up in two. All right, this is verse 8. We have Yahweh, Yah Shamar, Yashamar. So we got Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza Afka. Taza Ah. Taza Athka. I'm not sure if it's Taza Athka or Taza Athka. Give me one moment to confirm that. I believe it's Taza Athka. 21, we got Taza Athka. Yashamar Taza Athka. All right, that's what I thought. We got Taza Athka. Then we'll put one more up here. We got Taza Athka. Waba. Wa'aka. Wa'aka. All right. So this is the first part of verse 8. All right. If you could, Barak Allah, any words you see that are familiar?
Yahweh.
Most High in Christ. All right. You know Yahweh is the Lord. What else?
Yashamar.
Yeah, Shamar. Right. Again, we see that word Shamar. All right. See, this word is repetitive. We got the Yah, which is my, or Salakia. Yah is a preposition, which is he, it, or he. And then we have Taza Athka, Waba Wa'aka. All right. Waba Wa'aka. So we have Ba Wa'a. All right. Ba Wa'a, this last word. Ba Wa'a is a root word. Right. Do you know what that is in the English, Brock Yalla?
Lot one.
All right. No sweat. And then we have Taza'af. All right. Taza'af would be the root. And then we have Ka, which is a possessive word. All right. Same down here. Right. We can fill this out. Your, and then we have Wa. What is Wa in the English?
And
Most High in Christ. Right. So far we got filled out in the English, the Lord, he watch, your, and your. All right, we're just missing two root words. We have ba wa ah, which is to enter, to come, or to go in. All right. That's what ba wa ah means. And then we have taza ah. Taza ah, which is to finish or end. All right. Finish or end. This is Psalms 121, verse 8. We have the Lord, he watch, your end, and your enter. Right? When we're doing the Hebrew, Hebrew is very direct. Right? Like we say, for example, in the Hebrew, Yashamar, which means he watch, right? You're looking at somebody and you say, or instead of saying he watch, you could say, Atha Shamarwa, right? Atha Shamara, right? You're saying you watch, right? You watch. When you're speaking to somebody in the Hebrew, it's very direct, right? We don't speak like in English where we have these words that they're like filler words, or they make things sound good, right? Like when we're saying the English, you're speaking to somebody, you see a brother standing over there, you say, hey, hey, do you mind watching that? Hey, do you mind looking out for me? Hey, do you mind watching over her? Right? That's how we speak in the English. Whereas in the Hebrew, we're very direct. It's very masculine, right? We just say, you watch, right? You watch that. You watch her. Watch the baby, right? It's very direct. All right? So we have the Lord. The Lord watches. The Lord, he watches. He watches your end and your enter. Another way you can say this, and you're coming in, right? Or and you're going in, and you're entering, right? Very direct. The Most High watches your end, he watches your coming, right? So that's the first part. Let's get the last part in here. So we have Wabawa'aka, Ma'ai, Ma'aitha, Ma'aitha, Wa'aid, Wa'aid, I, Walam. All right. Wa'aid, I, Walam. All right. This is the last part of verse 8. All right, Brock, y'all want to give this one a try?
Mm,
You can start off with the prepositions or possessive words. All right. That would help you fill some stuff in.
I'm not sure out of one.
Not sure, no sweat. So we have, I can just see right here, we got a wa, right, which means
Compound.
and then we got a root word, right? Well, I'd, if you see these, this is called a, how do you say this in English? I think it's called a juxtaposition. Well, I should look that up. All it means is these words are closely connected to each other. All right. When you see these right here, see if I can look that word up. It's called a juxtaposition. All right. So we got where we at? We got ma'aitha. All right. We see this preposition right here. We have ma, which is of or from. All right. Ma'aitha and I will lum. All right. That lum, the ma might be a possessive word. It could be there. All right. Could be there, masculine. And we would have I will la. But let's see what we got here. All right. So ma'aitha, if you want to check out your concordance, this would be H. Ma'aitha is H6258. All right. And it is now or whereas. All right. That's H6258. And then we have wa'id. We have the wa, which means and I'd is a transitional word. All right. It could be as unto, up to, and we'll leave those three. So again, this is a transitional word. I-Wallam. I-Wallam means antiquity or forever. Antiquity or forever. And that is Strong's H 5957. 5957. All right. I can also give you this Strong's. All right. It is H57 H5704. Okay. Well, I strongly recommend to anybody who's learning Hebrew, get yourself a Strong's Concordance. All right. Strong's Concordance, it has every Hebrew word in the Bible. All right. All the Hebrew words. You can go through it. It also has the Greek. And it gives you the definitions of all the words. All right. Gives you all the definitions of the words. And those Strong's numbers that I just gave you, right? You can look up the Strong's number. Look up the Strong's number, find the word you're looking for. All right. I definitely recommend buying one and learning how to use it. You're trying to learn Hebrew. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I got that book a long time ago. I think it was around $20-25. All right. It wasn't too expensive. All right. So this is the last part of Psalms 121, verse 8. This is the last verse. We have Ma'aitha, which means now or whereas. Wa'id, and unto. I-Wallam, forever, or antiquity. All right? And that is all of verse 8. All right. So that was all of Psalms 121. Got that whole prayer broke down. And now we're just going to do some review, some practice. We haven't gone over past tense, future tense, or present tense in a while in our Canada Hebrew classes. So we're going to do some review. All right. All right. So let's start off going over present tense. All right. Two things I like to keep in my notes. Well, we got some time. Let's go over this really quick. Write this up here. So these are good words, common words to remember. All right. We're going to be using these words today. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Put up some things for review. So we got anya. Anya means I. We have atha, which means you. All right. Write these down if you don't have them in your notes. We're going to be using these today as we go over masculine or slack, as we go over past, present, and future tense. All right. We have ha, wa'a, ha, wa'a, Slovakia, atha, ha, wa'a. Ha, wa'a is he. We have ha, ya'a. Ha, ya'a is she. We have anak, noa. Anak, noa means we. A thumb. A thumb and a thun. A thumb is you. Masculine plural. A thun is you, feminine plural. And then we have hum. Hum and hun, which is they, masculine and feminine. They is masculine plural, and hun is feminine plural. All right. You get that all on the screen? Yeah. Okay. So we have anya, which is I, atha, which is you, ha wa'a is he, ha ya'a is she, anak noa is we, a thumb and a thun means you, and ham and han is they. Okay, we're going to be using these as we go over past, present, and future tense. These are my own personal notes. All right. These are some things that I all keep close together.
Salakia,
All right. I got numbers, prefixes, suffixes, my alphabet. All right. And then all these possessive words here. All right. those are things that are good to have in your notes, kind of as almost as a foundation, right? Just like you're teaching a child, you teach them the ABCs, you teach them numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then you start to teach your child how to speak in like possessive words, right? You say my toy, my food, her food, knowing when to say she, he, they, right? These are some basics to a language. All right. And then we're going to get into our different tenses. Okay, so today we're going to start off with the present tense. All right, present tense. We're just going to do some review. The word we're going to use today is watch. All right, we saw that word a lot in Psalms 121. That's the word shamar. Shamar. All right. Shamar means to watch. All right. So going over present tense. Present tense is one of the easier tenses to learn. Salakia. For myself, I found present tense is an easy tense to learn. All right. Just like in the English language, we have rules. Okay. When we're speaking in present tense, what you're going to do is very simple. The wa character in the Hebrew goes between the first and second letter. All right. This is present tense. This is the only rule that you need to remember. Okay. These rules are important. All right. As we saw earlier, this is a wa. The wa character looks like this. All right. All right. So this is a wa. All right. The wa in the Paleo, the wa in the Assyrian. Right. We pronounce it wa. When we're speaking in present tense, anytime you have a root word, okay? Today, this root word is watch. All right? You can take a look at our classes. We have a class on the 100, I think it's the 100 or 150 most common verbs, most common nouns. All right? Or slacking, most common verbs. All right? And in there, you'll see a whole bunch of words. All right? Whole bunch of action words. All right? To walk, to listen, to go, to hear, to sit, stand, to attack, right? To sleep. All different action words, right? And in these root words, right? when we're speaking in present tense, right, we just add the wa, right? The wa goes in between the first and second character of a word. All right. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me pull up some quick examples. Nawam is to sleep, right? Izar is to help, all right? And then we have Shamar, right? Shamar is to watch. So, how the rule goes, right? We just add a wa character in between these first two. So, you have sleep, you have the first character and the second character, and then we have the last character, and we add the wa as a rule in between the first and second character, right? So now we have na wa wam, all right? Na wa wam. Now this word is turned into speaking in the present tense. All right? Na wa wam. We were doing Izar, which is help. Again, we got the first character, the second character, and the last. Izar, and we add the wa. I was Zar. And now the word is helping. All right. That is your rule for the present tense. All right. Salaki, bear with me. I'm going to take a quick break.
Yay-Z. You know the chop. I.S.U.P.K. Badness no sir. Let me tell you how the badness steer. You be bad fly when the clock display. Tell a boy say no try box this face. Box which face. You know how your blood clot just gets to your boy. You must see one back this spray. When the map stick brace that mix straight. Shot this place, the key then in your head stop this ear. To crack this face, the key never tell us we got this place which locks it. Anyway, watch this place. War with them, gonna like plastic plate, hey. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR around. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR around. We not take care up. We not take beat up. We not stay so. I win the next day come we not change up. Man, I talk them fathers them wake up. AK bus boy get stop shake up. So tell a pussy world don't violate us. No care where you status, where you take up. Every man a killer chill, missile dead face up, straight up. Great stuff. One Wesley bigger than NATO. Man who hustle to NATO. Only man we afraid that. That are the creator, the maker. Hey, we don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR around. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15 and AR around. AR-15s and AR rounds. AR-15s and let me tell you how the badness steer. Don't be bad fly with the Glock display. Tell a boy send a try box this face. Back switch face. You know how your blood clot just get steer, boy. The most you want map this spray. When the map stick raise that lick straight. Shot this place. The team them in your head stop this deal. Catch this face. The key never tell us we lock this place. Which lock spit anyway. Watch this space. War with them money like plastic tape. We don't play around. When you see the UPK.
Alright, slack you for that. Alright. So we're saying this, so we got rules to the present tense. Alright. We have a couple action words here: to sleep, to help. Right? When we want to change this word into the present, we just follow this rule. We add the wa in between the first and the second character. And now we have na wa wam, which is sleeping. I wazar means helping. All right? And we'll show you how we use these words in a sentence. Okay? All right. So, again, Hebrew is always right to left. So we have these words here, right? To give a word some context, right? We have anya. Anya. Right? Anya. And then we have this root word, shamar, to watch. Right? Barak Allah.
Khan.
So how would you make shamar into the present tense?
Anya Shawamar.
Anya shawamar. Khan. That's exactly it. All right, Most High in Christ. Anya Shah. And as Barak Allah correctly said, we have the wa mar. All right. And all that means is you would say I'm, or how we'd say this in the English is I'm watching. All right. Well, in the Hebrew, it would actually read I watching. And as I was saying earlier, These words are just implied. Okay? You don't need to see this word am to know what it is we're speaking about. Right? As I said earlier, the Hebrew is very direct, very masculine. All right? So we would just say, I watching, right? I watching. We know who we're speaking about, right? I'm letting the audience know I'm speaking about myself, and I'm letting the audience know I'm doing something right now. I am watching, right? You're out at camp, right? And Yah Shawamar, all right? It's extremely important. You don't want to be out there at camp and get one of your brothers killed. It's very important that you are watching, that you are paying attention, you're watching over your brothers, looking out for your Akim, right? It is important to be on Shamar, all right? And if that's you're doing something right now, you're on Shamar at this moment, you would say Anya Shawamar, all right? Anya Shawamar. The present tense is probably the easiest tense to learn. You just have to learn that rule, okay? So we won't spend too much time on it. Let's say 2 more examples. Okay. We'll put 2 more examples up here. All right. I'll put this. We have Ha Ya'ah. And we'll do this. All right. All right. Barak Ya Allah. You've probably heard this word many times. What does atha mean?
You?
You, Most High in Christ. Right? When we salute brothers and sisters, we say, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barak Atha. Barak Atha. Bless you. Right? Atha. You. And so now how would we do Shamar saying you are currently doing something? How do we say you are currently watching somebody? How do we do that in the Hebrew?
Ata Shawamar.
Shawamar. Atha Shawamar. All right. All right. You are watching. All right. And let's do one more, Barak Ya Allah. How do you say this one? Ha-ya-ah. How do you say watching?
Shawamar.
Shawamar. All right. Shawamar. All right. Say that to yourself a couple times. Like I say, this is probably the easiest one to learn. Easiest tense to learn. You just have to remember this rule. Okay? If you want, on your own time, Barak Ya Allah, I recommend just writing these down. Put Anya Shawamar, or pick a root word and just practice putting that wa in between the first and second character. All right? It may seem repetitive. It may seem very simple, very easy, but that's how you learn and get it in your head. Okay? Because when you come to start reading the Hebrew, right, you're going to be able to recognize when you see a root word and what tense you're speaking in. Okay? For example, if you're reading a prophecy in the Bible, right? Are we in the past, present, or future tense?
A prophecy will be in the future tense.
Come, we're in the future tense. So when we go over the future tense, you want to go over those rules, practice it, get it down, so that when you're reading a prophecy, you're gonna see these rules being used. You understand? You'll understand what tense you're speaking in, and that will help you understand what it is the writer of the text was saying. All right. So we got ha, which is she. She watching. All right. She watching. That's how we say it in the Hebrew. In the English, it would be she is watching. All right. But whether you have is there or not, this word is just implied. Right? Hey, Brock, y'all, if I was speaking to you and I pointed at a sister that was close to you or close by us, and I just said, Haya Shawamar, and I pointed at her, all I'm saying is, she watching. And you would understand exactly what that meant, right? Even if I took out is. Okay, this word here is just implied. All right, that's pretty basic. Brock, y'all, you got any questions on that?
A lot of one.
All right, Most High in Christ. So, we don't need to spend much time on the present tense. Let's go over the past tense next. All right. Past tense isn't hard. It's just memory. Okay? When you're learning English, one of the things they teach you is, how do you say that? A-E-I-O-U, or I don't even remember the rules in English. I just I just say it. What's that rule? Oh man. Oh, what is that saying? Something like E after U, except after something. Slovakia. That's slipping my mind. That's crazy. But anyway, in English you got rules, right? Even in just speaking, right? Even when you're just speaking English, you see a TH, it's a th, right? The th sound. And then you have an E, it's a S sound. But how you pronounce the word is the, right? It's the. You're not saying that. That. Nobody says that in the English. It's the, right? And that's just a rule. It's something you just know. That's just how we do it. All right? No rhyme or reason. Right? Maybe it was just the way somebody was speaking. They had whatever accent, and that was brought into the English language. So, with the Hebrew, not saying that these have no rhyme or reason, but however, these are just rules, okay? These are rules to the language, and these are rules that you got to learn. So we're in the past tense, all right? Past. All right, past. Brock Yalla, maybe you can get this. How do you say past in the Hebrew?
I don't know. I don't want Salakia.
No sweat. So what they would say in Hebrew is Ibar. In Old English, Eber. All right. That is how we say past. Ibar. We're doing the past tense for this word. But what we're going to do is we'll use this root word. Use the root word lamad. All right, lamad. Lamad, which means to learn. Lamad is to learn. So, just for time's sake, I'm going to run through this one a little quickly. I'll leave the notes up, copy the notes down, all right, and go over these rules, okay? So we got anya, lamad, thaya. Anya, atha, and hawa'a. All right. So again, with this past tense, we have a couple rules, okay? We have a couple rules. Right? Rocky Allah, you notice what I did up there?
Wakan.
Yeah. So we have, first we have these words here. We have anya, atha, which is you. You, it can be masculine and feminine. And we have ha-ya'a, which is masculine. Ha-ya'a, slaki, ha-ya'a, she. Salakia. Oh, hawa'a, right. Hawa'a is he. That's what I want. Right. So we got he. In Hebrew, anytime you say a word Anytime you're speaking to a group of men and women, right? We always use the masculine, right? So a tha is masculine. It can be masculine and feminine. If you're just speaking to men, you would just say a tha, right? A tha singular. If you're speaking to a group of men, you instead of saying a tha, you would say a thumb. A thumb. Now it becomes plural. All right? But a tha singular, it can be both for a male and a female. So this rule here, all you do is add thaya. All right? Thaya. You add thaya at the end of the word. Okay? Thaya, right? We say it thaya. You add that to the end of your root word. Okay? The root word is lamad, which is to learn. And you add thaya. All right? So now how do you say, Baraki Allah, how do you say learn in the past tense? How do we say that in English?
Learned, I think.
Learn. Most High in Christ. All right. In 2021, this is how we would say learned in the past tense. Right? Not many people say learnt with a T. Right? We would say learned. I learned, you learned, he learned. All right? And it is a simple rule. You just add thaya. Very easy. This is just memory, okay? Memory and practice is how you'll learn these different tenses. So you add thaya to the end of these words, right? And we have different rules depending on who we're speaking to, okay? And we'll get through all that, and that should be the end of today's class, all right? So we add thaya to the end when we're using anya, a tha, and ha wa a. All right? If speaking in the masculine, we add thaya to the end. You got that down, Barak Yalla?
I'm writing it down right now.
All right, come. I'll give you a sec. And whichever root word you're using, this rule stays the same, okay? This is just the rule that you need to know. If we were using shamar, it would be shamar thaya. Anya shamar thaya. And it would say, and you would be saying, I watched. All right? Here we're saying, I learned. Anya lamad thaya.
What kind to what now?
All right, most high in Christ. So, now we'll go over the feminine. For the feminine now, we have a new word. So, we got she, which is ha ya'a. Ha ya'a, which is she. And now what we say is lamad, double check, I believe it's lamad ha. Lamad Ha. All right. So now instead of saying Thaya, now we are saying Ha at the end. All right. Lamad Ha. Ha Ya'a is she. She learned. All right. So now we have one more singular if we're speaking, making it feminine. All right. And it's this word, atha. All right. Atha can be masculine or feminine. If it's the masculine, right, as we showed earlier, we say thaya. It's feminine. Now we're saying lamad ha. All right. And that is the word atha. All right. All right. Any questions on that, Brock? Y'all?
La, the one.
All right. So again, pretty simple. But the past tense, we just have a couple more rules. Okay. We got a couple more rules, memory, practice. That's how you get this down. So we got ha ya'a, she learned, and atha lamad ha, you learned. All right. You learned feminine. So you got that down?
Canada Wakan.
Almost saying Chris. So another rule when speaking in the past tense, we have anak noa, anak, anak noa, lamad noa. All right. Anak noa is we. I believe that's we. Yep. This is how you would say we learned. All right. And what we're doing now is we're adding a noa to the end of a word. All right. Adding noa to the end of a word when we're speaking in past tense. All right. We say we learned. All right. Anak noa, lamad noa. All right. Be the same if we had that word Ezra. Ezra means to help. We would say Izar. Noah. All right. Just another example on how you use it. Right? We learned, we helped. Lamad Noah. Shamar Noah. We watched. All right. Got that down, Barack Yalla?
Canada Wakan.
All right. So up next, we got you. We have you masculine and you feminine. All right. So we're getting into a thumb. All right. A thumb. Now, some of these rules, right? We have an easy way of remembering, right? Like we just did a knock Noah, right? We. And all you did was you took those last two characters, right? And you added it to the end of the root word, okay? That's how we say we learned. Anak Noah, Lamad Noah. All right? These next couple are very similar. So we have a thumb. And what we would do, we take those last two characters and we add that to the end of the word. All right? Now we're saying Lamad thumb. All right? A thumb is you. Speaking to a group of men. All right? You all or y'all. We add thumb to the end of the word. All right? This is all in the past tense. All right? You got that, Barack Yalla?
Canada Wakan.
All right. So now we're going to switch from the masculine, speaking to a group of men, to speaking to a group of women, right? What word would we use to say you all when you're speaking to a group of women?
Atan.
How would we say that, Barack Yalla? Athan. So all we're doing is we're changing the ma character to a na. And now this becomes feminine. All right? So Barack Yalla, take a guess. How would we now say all of you females learned? All right? What do you think the rule is for this past tense?
Atan Lamad
Athan.
Than.
Lamad Than. Most High in Christ. Than, Lamad Than. All right? Now we just have a Than at the end. All right? Than. So we got masculine, we got feminine. All right. Let me know when you got that down.
To what about one?
All right, Most High Christ. So now we have the last rule. All right. This is one other way when we're identifying who it is we're speaking to or about. And we have they, which is ham and han. Ham is masculine, han is feminine. All right? And it means they. All right? We have ham and we have han. Now the rule for this, all right, the rule is the same. All right. So the rule when we're saying they is we add a wa to the end of the word. All right. All of these are fairly easy. It just takes some practice, right? So we have the root word learn, lamad, and all we do is add a wa. All right. We got shamar. All we do is add a wa. We have izar. We add a wa. All right. And that changes the tense of the root word. All right. So ham is they. If we wanted to say they learned, we say ham lamadwa. We wanted to say they watched, and we're speaking to a group of women, we say han shamarwa. Last, if we're speaking to a group of men and we wanted to say they helped, we say ham izarwa. All right. And that is the last rule when we're speaking in the past tense. All right. Any questions about that, Brachiala?
Lot of one.
All right, Most High in Christ. So what we're going to do, we're a little over the time. We're going to end Friday night Lashawan Kodash class. Let's clap it up. All right. I'm going to post the sign-out links before I end the live stream. Make sure you hit that sign-in link. Hit the sign-out link. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube page. We have a I.S.U.P.K Canada Facebook page. Go ahead and like us on Facebook, on YouTube. All right. To any brothers or sisters who are trying to get to the Passover, we have a link in the comments. for some information on the Passover. All right. You can go ahead and pay your Passover fee there. Get a hold of your camp leader. And with that, we're going to say the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After this 6-month period, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the Feast of Purim on the 14th of February. Any brother or sister who wants to join the school, to any brother who wants to join the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarf. With that said, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Imadium, which means stand. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahba Shema Shabrak Yadamata, Sar, which means turn. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yashai, Yadamata. Class dismissed.
You know the job. I.S.U.P.K. Badness, let me tell you how the badness steer. Don't be bad fly when the clock display. Tell a boy say no try box this face. Box which face. You know how your blood black just gets here, boy. You must see one back this prayer. When the map stick praise that makes straight. You shot this place. The key the your head stop this here. Got this place. The key never tell us to lock this place. Which locks me. Anyway, watch this place. War with them funny like plastic plate, hey. We don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and A around. We don't play around. When you see the U.P.K around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and A around. We not take care up. We not take beat up. We not stay up. I win the next day up. We not change up. I happen for us them wake up. Take care of us boy. Heads up shake up. So tell a pussy world don't violate us. No care where you status, where you take up. Every man a kill a tune beside the face. You straight up. Great stuff. One West link bigger than NATO.